Captain Morehouse surveyed the debris with a heavy heart, each fragment igniting questions that gnawed at him relentlessly. "This can't be all that's left," he said, peering intently into the darkness surrounding them. The crew, their faces lined with concern, shared in the weight of his words, silent hopes flickering like their lanterns against the vast, unforgiving night. One sailor, a young man named Thomas, suddenly spoke up, breaking the silence that had become suffocating. "What if there's a chance they attempted to signal for help?" His eyes glimmered with a spark of desperation that resonated through the crew. Captain Morehouse nodded thoughtfully, considering the implications of such a possibility. "We'll scour this area thoroughly," he asserted, voicing their unified determination to leave no stone unturned. With renewed vigor, they ventured towards the patch where the turbulence had suggested signs of struggle, hoping against hope that it would disclose more about what fate had befallen the Mary Celeste's crew. Suddenly, another sailor, John, called out, drawing attention to something partially submerged nearby, a wooden plank that bore familiar markings, unmistakably from the lifeboat. The realization struck them like a thunderclap. This was tangible evidence, a piece of the harrowing puzzle that hinted at the crew's last desperate moments. "Secure it," the captain ordered, urgency threading through his voice. Each member sprang into action, one man reaching down to grasp it, dread tightening in their chests as they pulled it free from the icy grip of the ocean below. The night was thick with anticipation as they examined the plank, its edges splintered and darkened, but unmistakably inscribed with the initials of the missing. The sight of it deepened their resolve, igniting a flicker of hope within them. Perhaps the ocean had not stolen all their answers after all. Captain Morehouse's demeanor shifted as he sensed the tide of despair beginning to turn. Amidst the agony of loss, flickering threads of resilience began to weave through their quest, pulling them upward from the depths of dismay. As the crew gathered around the plank, their hearts raced, a mix of fear and hope coursing through their veins. Captain Morehouse examined the initials closely, a muted recognition dawning upon him. "This belonged to one of the children," he murmured, his voice barely above a whisper, as the weight of realization settled heavy in the air. The surroundings felt impossibly silent as they processed the tragic implications of the discovery, each sailor grappling with the sorrow hidden behind those few letters carved into the wood. The captain turned to his crew, a newfound urgency coursing in his veins. "We have to find them. They can still be out there." Determination fueled his words, igniting a flicker of vigor among the crew who rallied behind him, ready to face the treacherous night ahead. As they felt the pull of the mystery deepening, every heartbeat echoed the collective resolve. They would uncover the truth of the Mary Celeste and the fate of its lost souls, even if the ocean's secrets lay just beyond their reach. The tension among the crew crackled like the charged air before a storm, their minds racing with possibilities as they maneuvered the vessel towards the swirling waters. Captain Morehouse stood firm at the helm, a figure of resolve amidst their swirling fears. "Check the lines, we need to ensure everything is secure," he instructed, his voice steady but filled with urgency. With every command, the men worked together in a tense rhythm, the gravity of the unfolding mystery binding them closer. Suddenly, another disturbance caught their eye, a splash that broke the surface, sending ripples across the water. "Over there," someone shouted, their voice laced with excitement and dread. The captain narrowed his gaze, heart racing as he pointed his lantern toward the source. Lantern lights flickered, casting eerie shadows on the waves as they prepared to investigate. Minutes felt like hours as they navigated closer, every man holding his breath in anticipation. Could this be the break they desperately sought? As they approached, the water churned again, revealing more fragments of the lifeboat, now tangled in the swirling currents. "All hands on deck," Captain Morehouse ordered with fierce determination. They would unravel the truth behind this chilling tableau, come what may. The remnants of the lifeboat lay scattered around them, a stark reminder of the violence that had unfolded. Captain Morehouse's eyes widened as he spotted something else glimmering amidst the debris, a small, waterlogged journal. "Retrieve that," he commanded, his heart racing with a renewed sense of urgency. A sailor quickly reached into the water, retrieving the journal and presenting it cautiously. They gathered around, the salty air thick with anticipation and fear as he opened its covers, pages crinkling from soaking. The captain's fingers trembled slightly as he skimmed the words, desperate to uncover the final thoughts of the missing crew. The entry spoke of a troubled voyage, of rising tensions among the crew, and the ominous weather that had loomed. "This is it," he breathed, the chilling weight of the words settling on them all. Each phrase unfurled like a dark tapestry, revealing that their last days had been marked by unrelenting unease, as if they had sensed the approaching storm, not just from the skies but from within themselves. They were afraid, Thomas said, his voice breaking the silence, an echo of the torment felt by all. The crew absorbed the weight of that fear, realizing their urgency had never been just about uncovering a mystery. It was also about confronting the very human emotions that had driven the Mary Celeste's crew to make choices that ultimately led to their disappearance. The journal's ink seemed to bleed sadness, encapsulating a last plea for understanding, urging them to piece together not just the events, but the lives that had been intertwined within those fragile pages. Yet, as they pondered the implications of the journal, the night thickened, wrapping them in an unsettling embrace. A sudden gust of wind swept across the deck, sending shivers down their spines and stirring the sea's depths, as if warning them that not all mysteries were meant to be uncovered. Captain Morehouse, holding the damp pages with trembling fingers, turned toward his crew, a mixture of resolve and apprehension etched across his face. "We must remain vigilant," he urged, his voice steady despite the lurking shadows. This may not be the end of their story, the ocean might still hold more clues. The crew nodded, bolstered by his courage, and together they delved deeper into the mystery of the Mary Celeste, the weight of the past clinging to them like a mist. With every flickering lantern light, their hopes flickered too, as they navigated toward the unknown, united in their quest for truth. As they sailed into the inky abyss, the secrets of the sea whispered around them, beckoning to be revealed. Every wave they traversed became not just a testament to loss, but a step closer to rediscovering the souls of those who had vanished into the night. Captain Morehouse sensed a shift in the atmosphere, a tension thickening the air as they pressed onward. The journal's revelations lingered like an echo in their minds, igniting a fervent determination amid escalating fears. "Keep a lookout for any floating debris or signs of life," he commanded, his voice unwavering as they scoured the crests of dark waves. The sailors took their positions, eyes straining against the darkness, hearts pounding with a pulse that synchronized their collective resolve. As minutes unfolded, the ocean remained silent, almost mocking in its stillness, echoing their own simmering apprehensions. Suddenly, a glimmer caught Thomas's eye, a white cloth tethered to something submerged. "There," he exclaimed, urgency fueling his words. Captain Morehouse steered the ship closer, the crew's anticipation palpable. The cloth unfolded in the light, revealing itself to be a shirt, stained and waterlogged. It bore the insignia of the Mary Celeste, igniting a flurry of emotions within the crew. "It's one of theirs," the captain observed softly, dread wrapping around them like a vice. The ominous implications were clear. The missing crew had faced something far graver than mere abandonment, and the ocean's depths held truths they couldn't yet fathom. Deciding to act, Captain Morehouse instructed the crew to lower a small boat for a closer inspection. The urgency surged anew as they prepared for what awaited them in the depths of the unknown. Quiet murmurs of shared dread flowed among the sailors, a weight of hope mixed with anguish as they ventured to retrieve what the tides had surrendered. The small boat was lowered with trembling hands, the echoes of whispered fears hanging in the air like a shroud. Captain Morehouse took the lead, his heart pounding as he stepped onto the rickety craft. "Stay alert," he warned, scanning the water for any signs of danger. As the men rowed toward the shirt, the oppressive silence of the ocean pressed upon them, each creak of the boat intensifying their collective anxiety. With every stroke, they braced themselves against the unknown, recognizing that whatever lay ahead could unveil the truths they sought, or further ensnare them in the shadows of despair. Reaching their destination, they fished the shirt from the depths, hands trembling as they felt the cold fabric. As one sailor examined it closely, a chilling realization settled upon them. The shirt bore traces of dried blood, a stark reminder of the violent struggle that transpired. "This confirms their desperation," Morehouse murmured, dread welling in his chest. The weight of their mission no longer felt merely about uncovering facts, it was now tinged with a poignant sorrow for lives irrevocably altered. Huddled together, they reaffirmed their commitment to unraveling the tragic fate of the Mary Celeste's crew, no matter the darkness they had to face. As they carefully considered the implications of the bloodstained shirt, a murmur of disbelief rippled through the crew. Captain Morehouse looked around at the troubled faces illuminated by the flickering light. "This tells us they fought for their lives," he began solemnly, "and we must find answers not just for them, but for their families waiting at home." The gravity of his words settled heavily on everyone, each man feeling the burden of responsibility. As they returned to the Mary Celeste, determination filled the air, steeling their resolve to uncover the truth behind the crew's harrowing struggle, no matter how dark the path ahead may be. They prepared to confront the shadows of the past as they sailed deeper into the night, knowing that every revelation was a step toward understanding the tragedy woven into the fabric of the Mary Celeste's journey. As dawn broke over the horizon, casting a pale light across the deck, Captain Morehouse stood resolutely at the helm, reflecting on the quest for truth. The crew, though haunted by the shadows of those lost lives, found strength in their determination. With the spirits of the Mary Celeste's crew guiding them, they vowed to honor the memory of those souls forever intertwined with the mystery of the sea.